Oh my god.
What? What's wrong? What's wrong now?
Trudeau just declared a national emergency. And the truckers are getting arrested. Finally! What's wrong with you?
I'm fine. I'm just freaking out about what society will look like in the not too distant future and whether or not democracy will still exist, but I'm fine.
What are you talking about? It's just crazy, selfish jerks who fall for any crazy conspiracy that justifies their crazy, selfish behavior.
It doesn't matter who it is. There is no such thing as a legitimate reason to arrest peaceful protesters.
Well, not all of them are peaceful. Some of them have guns, long guns. And did you see the Confederate flag? They're a bunch of violent, racist, sexist, xenophobic, backwards Trumpers who can't for a second think about taking one for the team.
Of course, the Confederate flag is an abhorrent symbol. But we are not America. We had one of the earliest anti-slavery acts in the world. And Canada was literally where newly freed people would escape to from America. The Confederate flag doesn't have a real place in Canadian history.
Okay, fine. So maybe we didn't have a civil war. But discrimination is still a thing. And there are Canadians who went off and started far-right extremist groups in America, like the Proud Boys. Boom. So tell me that this isn't also our problem.
I'm not saying racism and misogyny and xenophobia aren't our problem. Of course, Canada isn't some utopia where these issues don't exist. And of course, we should do better. I'm saying that, okay, when we were marching for Black Lives Matter, when the media and a lot of conservative people were freaking out and focusing on the riots, we literally spoke out about how at any large political gathering, you can't control everyone who shows up. And how while not everyone who shows up has good intentions, and some show up with malevolent intent, that should not undermine the overall message of a protest.
And what's a trucker's overall message? That they don't care enough about others to bother putting a thin layer of cloth over their faces in crowded areas? That they took and benefited from all the other vaccines since they were born, like for polio and hepatitis. But this one, the one made to fight a goddamn pandemic that's taken millions of lives, somehow infringes upon their human rights?
I hear you. And I'm angry too. I get it. Personally, I'll never understand what so many people in the West have against masks. And the politicization and the straight up lies about RNA vaccines, started by a single discredited doctor who wanted to sell his own vaccine and make a business out of it, is a fucking tragedy. But most of the truckers are vaccinated. I think what they're saying is that we should always choose informed consent over state coercion, lest we go the totalitarian route. That threatening someone's livelihood amounts to threatening their life. That there's a disparity and honestly, pretty classist, elitist attitude in how different Canadian voices are being heard. That this pandemic has economically benefited the few. That lockdowns have a profound negative impact on individuals, communities, and societies. Exactly what the WHO has been saying for over a year. And that the legacy media and the Canadian government have been doing some sketchy shit, like testing facial recognition systems without our consent. And what I'm saying now is that choosing easy answers and making out those who disagree with us as evil or violent or just ignorant is a disservice to both them and ourselves. That maybe through all the noise, they actually might have something to say about a problem that's in our blind spot.
Well, really loud noises can hurt people's hearing, and so all the constant honking actually is a form of violence.
Yeah, that's true. And lack of sleep is linked to early deaths, so yeah, maybe they could have gone a different way about it.
Yeah, maybe.
Are we cool?
Yeah, I'm glad we talked.
Oh my god, I'm so glad we can just disagree and still be respectful and still be friends. Not like the time we fought about Arcane, right?
I still think the game is stupid, Steampunk looks stupid, and Jace should have ended up with Victor.
You mother, father, guardian,